in the fall of 2009, I came to the World Food Prize Global Youth Institute. And I would say that the Borlaug-Ruan Internship and Dr. Borlaug's programs began to impact me before I ever received the internship in 2010 to India. So simply coming to the Global Institute in 2009, I was awakened to the possibility of really what career options I had, and the idea that all of these people were collected in this one space, really passionate about solving the same issue. I felt this energy, this dynamism, this enthusiasm in the room, and felt like I too could have an impact and could do something. This was at a period of time when Haiti was really suffering the repercussions of the earthquake. And after attending the first Oxfam America Global Hunger Banquet, I went back to my high school and felt like I too could do something small that could maybe have an impact. So we began this sort of annual, which has now become an annual event, of a hunger banquet at our high school. And the idea was to sort of receive donations for the event and then to be able to raise money for this cause. So just from this experience alone, I felt really energized, really motivated with the idea that this is a global issue and we're here in Iowa, but there's a way that we can also have an impact. So I then applied for the international internship, and in 2010 was setting off for my first international trip to India to work with ICRSAT. So for me, the experience in India, I could explain to you all that I learned professionally and how this sort of served as the cornerstone of my career, which then progressed in international agriculture, development, and research. But I think that the bigger impact that the experience in India had was really on a personal level. And from a young age, I began working with issues of poverty, but in the United States. So I had worked through the foster care system in my own family. I had worked on service trips in some of the less fortunate states in the United States. But this time in India was sort of an eye-opener, and it really shook me to the core. I saw levels of malnutrition and hunger that I had never seen before, and was working with farmers who I knew very well from my Iowa background, but farmers who were subsisting really on the margins and didn't have a chance in times of climatic shock, which was essentially the finding of my research in India. So coming back to the United States, I began to study at the university in the East Coast, and I feel quite akin to something that Dr. Haddad, the 2018 laureate, mentioned last night in his speech, which was that his first experience abroad radicalized him. And it radicalized him around the issues of hunger. And I feel that the same thing happened to me. I came back to the United States, but I couldn't just be in the United States. And I feel that for the next 4 years as I was finishing my undergraduate studies, I had one foot in and one foot out, as I tried to really put into practice what Dr. Borlaug had inspired me to do, and also what my experience abroad in India had really shown me that I need to do. So for me, this became sort of the motto or the mantra of my life, is that while we can be in one place, it doesn't mean that we cannot have a larger impact elsewhere. And I became an Oxfam America change leader during my undergraduate years, began a small business in Guatemala working with Mayan artisans, and just began to try to find ways where I could feel not really the great impact that I was having. I didn't necessarily radically change lives through these projects that I led, but what I did was allow myself to feel okay with the privilege that I had growing up, and allow myself to feel okay with the education that I was able to obtain. So for me, I'm taking forward this sort of spirit that Norman Borlaug gave us, which is not just bringing together the global experts and leaders, but also believing in the power of youth and really being energized by that idea that we can be at whatever point in our career, but be ready to really enact this global change that Dr. Borlaug always advocated for. So thank you so much.